Right, this is gonna be fun. Wubba bubba boo, yes, that is right guys, it is that time of the year again. It's Comic Con and the Doctor Who Series 11 trailer has dropped. I did my reaction to it, so now let's break it down. Okay, so the trailer opens with the 13th Doctor official title, even though it's technically the 14th Doctor, if you count the War Doctor, and I'm sure there's Peter Cushing's in continuity as well. But anyway, we have the new Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, waking up in some kind of house, some kind of... it's definitely post-regeneration, obviously. This could literally be the opening scene to the new series, and I think that's why they've used it at the start of the trailer, because it's this opening scene. It's well lit, it looks cinematic straight away, it's this brand new, fresh Doctor, and it's almost like the way she's going and kind of like waking up, it's almost like us getting excited for the trailer. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Tell me what you think about them using this and why they used this shot to open it. I don't know, that's just me trying to break it down. Anyway, let's move on to the next shot. Okay, so the next shot is of Ryan. He's looking kind of like we're the camera, so we're looking up at him. He's looking down at something. Maybe it's a monster. There's something glowing orange on his face, which there tends to be quite a lot of orange glows in this trailer. Let's be honest about that. Whether he's looking at maybe this is like the moment he finds the new Doctor. So maybe this isn't. Maybe the last shot wasn't the opening episode, opening shot of the series. We don't know. So this could be like maybe he's finding the Doctor post regeneration, and because she's landed, she's healing herself or something like that. Maybe there's going to be a bit of comedy when she actually lands, because at the moment, well, she's falling out of a TARDIS. So who knows? But it definitely, she's got this orange glow, and then of course we move on to a shot of Graham. Graham obviously looks up at the camera. Obviously you can see from this shot I haven't actually got him looking up at the camera, but they all tend to sort of be looking off at something, maybe some kind of monster. So that's Graham. He's going to be the granddad, I guess. I don't know, that's what people are calling him. And then of course we get this shot of Yasmin, the new companion played by Mandip Gill. Just this shot, the way the lighting is, the way the lens flare is on it, it's so beautiful, so cinematic, and it makes me actually quite excited. And of course all this is happening while the Doctor is saying, all this is new to me, new faces. Okay, so now the Doctor, of course, over the trailer itself, like the narration that she's given the trailer, she says new worlds, and so we get this shot of this alien world with a bright sun, which gives a lens flare, which is very cinematic. The sky looks entirely green. It kind of just looks like a massive green screen in a quarry in Wales. But of course, obviously, that is what they filmed it with, but to be honest, they probably didn't use a green screen, they probably just used sky replacement. But just the fact that we're seeing this alien world, it does give me kind of, it reminds me of that world where the Doctor got teleported to in the Death of the Doctor, Sarah Jane Adventures. I don't know, that's what it's giving me. Of course, there are some crashed ships and some rubble and things, so maybe they're going to get to see some kind of new monsters. Maybe it's humans that have crashed there. Maybe this is in the future, and while humans are trying to colonise the world, the space, they've actually crashed. And then, of course, we move on to another world which is very beach-like. I'm presuming this is a new world, because, but it could be a new time. We don't know. So we get to see the Doctor, Ryan, and I think it's Yasmin, and I think Graham's there as well. They're coming up this banking on this sandy beach with the sea in the background. This could be like the shore of a planet, or it could just be some time place where they've landed. It definitely reminds me of the beach where they are at the end of Kill the Moon. I don't know, that's the vibe it gives me. And then of course we move on to where the Doctor's saying new times, and of course we're seeing her in this very, I think it's 1950s. I'm presuming it's supposed to be 1950s America, and this is supposed to be the alleged Rosa Parks episodes, and it's the rumoured episode 3. I'm hoping it's episode 2 or 3 anyway, just because it looks so good and I can't wait to see the episode. And there's a little bit later on I'll explain why I think it's episode 2 or 3 from one of the shots, but I just think that the fact that we're getting to see this new time, they're actually going to somewhere, and if they are going to talk about maybe racial rights. Now, what we don't know is we don't know Ryan's surname. We don't know any of the surnames for the new companions as of me recording this video, so we don't know any of the new companions' names. Now, for all we know, Ryan could have been related to Rosa Parks, and maybe there's some kind of threat to his existence, and there's something happening in the past and they have to solve it. And of course, Cape Town doubled for 1950s America, because that's what it would have looked like in a black neighborhood in America at the time, from history that we know of. So I think it's going to be a very good episode. I'm very excited for this episode, and it's honestly the episode I'm looking the most forward to. There was a few promo shots that were obviously released officially by the Entertainment Weekly, I think it was, that released it, and we got to see some shots. And also that shot from earlier in the trailer where we see Yasmin when it's introducing the new faces, this was clearly taken in front of one of these barrels that are in this shot. You can tell it's the 1950s from the cars and stuff that are in the background, and just the whole cinematic view, the shot of it, the way they're running. Chris Chibnall said there was going to be no running down the corridors, but we're getting to see them in all full-on action, so they're clearly running towards something, or maybe even running away from something. Okay, so the next shot is, of course, it's the Doctor. It looks like she's just actually landed on the ground from the TARDIS. Now, I'm presuming maybe the TARDIS might, judging by the smoke that's behind her, it seems like the TARDIS is crashed in the forest behind us, obviously. That could relate to her teaser and her reveal, where the TARDIS then re-shows itself like regenerated kind of style, which was the rubbish 10th Doctor CGI one they did with the reveal trailer for that Jodie Whittaker was going to be the new Doctor. So I don't know if maybe that's a little Easter egg there, a little hint at the fact that the TARDIS is in the forest there. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, if you agree with that, if you think that that is a little connection made there, that the fact that we saw the reveal trailer, the TARDIS, materializes itself again in the TARDIS, and then here we can see that it's smoky behind her, fresh after crashing, and maybe this is the same forest where it is going to materialize. Not forgetting in the trailer was there was like not the trailer, the teaser for Jodie Whittaker's series. There was like that wheel thing that was in there. I haven't got a picture of it, but I think you guys can remember what it looked like. That could have been hinting at maybe the fact that we're going to be looking back in time and things, but it could have just been looking at fly tipping. I don't know. So obviously I'm thinking maybe as she's falling from the TARDIS, the TARDIS is crashing. The TARDIS is going to crash, and as it's crashing, she's going to fall back into it. And as she falls back into it, so maybe we'll get to see a shot of her falling backwards into this massive empty room, and then just before it hits the ground, she'll maybe fall out of it again, or she'll have to climb out of it. And from the look on her face, she definitely, the fact that she's like breathing quite heavy, it does look very fresh after the crash. She also looks like she's trying to get used to the fact that obviously she's just gone through this traumatic change of being a man for 12 incarnations, 13 incarnations really, and then becoming this female incarnation, which is obviously very good, but it does look like this trauma's kicking in there, and I think that's what they're trying to tease maybe. And of course then it could lead into the fact that maybe she'll collapse in this scene, and whoever finds her will take her home, and that's when we see her waking up kind of like we showed at the first kind of shot of the episode. So to be honest, most of these could be the first shot of the opening episode. I can't wait till the fall to actually see the opening episode. They've not given an official air date yet. I think it's going to be October though, and I think the rumoured title for episode 1 is A New Dawn, but that's not actually clarified. Anyway, so then we move on to the Doctor on, it looks to me maybe with the blue sky, it could be from the episode with the sun. Maybe there's something hurting her mind now. Of course she is going ugh and holding her head. Apparently this is a little bit of an Easter egg to a second Doctor episode, which I think is missing. I can't remember the title of the episode. Comment it down below if you guys know it. But the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, holds his head like this, and it's something to do with some mind Eater or something like that. I can't remember what the villain's called in that episode. If you guys know what I'm talking about, comment it down below so other people do. But I know myself, but I can't quite remember what it's called off the top of my head. So she looks like she's struggling, but this also could be maybe an effect of something around her or her adapting to this new world. Don't her eyebrows just look on fleek, guys? She just looks so good as the Doctor. The beautiful coat, which I really want a version of. I love the fact that she's got a hood as well. Obviously, she hasn't got a hood up on this. I love the fact her hair's quite short. It won't get in the way. It also means that when we get an action figure, it won't get in the way of articulation as well. So that's good. It's a nice little bob, nice little sleek, and very formal as well as very like ready for action. You know, it's not tied up like a typical like Tomb Raider style, but it's short and ready for action, and I think it just looks amazing. Again, we've got those beautiful lens flares, great cinematic look to it. She definitely looks in pain, but it's just a brilliant shot overall. So the next shot is, of course, Techno Graham, as the Radio Times called it. We get to see Graham wearing it reminds me of the little technology piece, the 11th Doctor War, when the cyber men were taking over and they were inside his head and he was arguing with himself inside his head. I think that was the Cybermen. Yeah, I think it was. So it's very reminiscent of that, and the fact that he's got this big, looks to be some kind of gun that he's kind of carrying, and he's got some kind of over near his shoulder as well, but it could just be some kind of, like, I don't know, he's wearing these protection, but it could just be something that he's carrying because he thinks he's going to need it. But Techno Graham looks very technological. The background, let's talk about it. Looks like some rubbles. It could be rubbles of dead bodies. It looks maybe like they're in a war-torn world. Maybe that's why he's got to have this gun, just in case there's any like rogues or something about. The background's very foggy. Looks like he's looking up at something, which they all seem to be doing. I think we've got a lot of flying monsters this series. No, I'm joking. But it does look very cool, and I love the way it kind of steps forward into more of a central frame from a left frame. But that's just coming from more of a director's point of view. I just think it looks very cinematic and very beautiful. Okay, so the next shot, it cranes down very cinematically. I love it. And obviously we've got the Doctor in a different colour shirt from all the promo images. This is a different... so of course most of the promo images kind of show her with like a black navy blue top with the rainbow colours on it, or the pink, red, blue, green, whatever colours it is across the top. This one, however, is a burgundy coloured one. I'm even pretty sure the pants are actually more of like a teal colour for this. And also, if you notice in the background, there's a very teal coloured vibe going on. So you've got the teal coloured car, the teal coloured barriers of like what could be a motel or something. And if you even look at what looks like a diner in the top left hand corner, looks like maybe a 1950s American diner, American garage, something like that. Maybe it's even the entrance to the motel, I don't know. That's got a very teal colour, so the fact that the Doctor's pants are also matching that, maybe it's a subtle way of the Doctor fitting in with the time period, I don't know. And the reason we think this is a 1950s episode, and the Rosa Parks episode, and obviously it's doubling for the Cape Town stuff, is because on one of the filming pictures that we got to see on social media, where they were filming in Cape Town in South Africa, there was somebody in one of the photos wearing a bright orangey reddy top, and we can see from this photo that Graham in the background there is also wearing this grey top, which to me, obviously it must have been him. He was there. It could have been a stunt double that was on the picture, but the fact that that was his costume, to me, just makes this seem like this is the Cape Town episode. The cars in the background, the 1950s cars, just give it away. I love the fact we're finally going back in time, and it's not to some boring Victorian episode. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going back to the Victorian era. It was a long era, she was a long reigning queen. It's good to go back there, not to bring the Paternoster gang back, but it is good to go back in time. But the fact that we're going back to the 1950s, we get to see these retro cars, and for a lot of Doctor Who fans, this is something that Doctor Who fans for adult Doctor Who fans, this is something that they physically lived through, especially for adult American Doctor Who fans. I'm sure there are some older Doctor Who fans out there that physically remember this kind of time period. I mean, I'm sure they're old now, but well, they won't be that old. 1950 is not that long ago. You know, it's recent history, and we don't really go back to recent history. And it's funny now watching the 2012 Olympics Doctor Who Series 2 episode, because even though that was supposed to be set in the future, it's now set in the past. So it is fun to go back to the past, and I'm so glad that they're not going to Victorian times again, because they always seem to go. That seems to be their go-to time period. You know, the 10th Doctor went there, the 11th Doctor went there to meet Clara, the 12th Doctor went there a couple of times. It just doesn't see. I think it's overdone in Doctor Who at the moment. The 10th Doctor even went there for multiple episodes, actually. I think it's overused in Doctor Who, is the Victorian time period. I'm so glad that we're going to somewhere more recent history and something really important. Civil rights in America, you know, they're still fighting for them. I think this episode really is going to highlight the fact that civil rights in America aren't where they need to be, whether that be for African Americans, Native Americans, women, or, you know, like unions of everything. And I've just studied the entire period in history, so it is going to be such a good episode to watch, and it's not a very common theme, and I'm glad that they're finally going to different time periods now. It was good to see the First World War, but it's nice to have seen it in a bit more detail in the Twice Upon a Time, I think it was called. And it has been nice to see different time periods throughout the show, but I'm so glad that we're finally getting this fresh, brand new time period. And I just think that the way the camera crane's down on this shot is beautiful. I think the way that they're kind of organised in the shot, and the way the directors set them. So you've got Jodie at the front, and then you've got the two younger companions behind her, and then you've got Graham right at the back as kind of like a formation, kind of like a diamond shape. And the fact that she's got a hand on her hips makes it seem like maybe, you know, she's looking around, examining what's going to happen. This could literally be them confronting a monster that they then run from in a shot that we saw earlier in the trailer. And also, of course, over this audio, she also says, "Will you be my new best friends?" Which makes this seem maybe like this is an early episode, so maybe episode 2 or 3. Anyway, let's move on to the next shot. Alright, so the next shot is of the Doctor with some kind of like old, maybe blowtorch of some kind. Maybe she's made it herself. And obviously she's got the goggles on. It's definitely from the scene that we see at the end of the trailer, and it's also from the same scene that... so there were those leaked pictures where the Doctor looked like she was working on, well, what we now know is the new sonic screwdriver. And this looks like the beginning of that scene where she's getting something hot, ready to like melt some metal that she can mould and carve into this new sonic. So it's definitely very good. It looks like it's in some kind of warehouse. I love how the low shot is, showing that she's quite, she's got quite a lot of authority in the scene. And plus she's not quite central, but she's not bang in the centre of the shot. She's sort of off to the side, which makes it seem like something is a bit off. Definitely looks very good. I love the way the lighting's kind of being misted over, and the way it's just kind of being blocked out by the sheets as well as the smoke and things. So hopefully this is going to be a fantastic scene, and obviously judging by the fact that she's in Capaldi's costume, it's definitely from the first episode. So the next shot is Graham and Ryan. Ryan's got a torch, and I love the way the lens kind of the light of the torch kind of lens flares across the camera. I love the way it looks very misted over, so it's definitely got a good colour grade on it. It looks very cinematic. I think it's I love the fact that they're in focus, the background's out of focus. Looks like they're in some kind of big mansion. Maybe it's night, or maybe it's dark in there, so that's why they're using the torch to try and look around. It could be. It's giving me a lot of vibes from like Hyde and things, that 11th Doctor episode. So maybe they are in this old mansion. I always loved like Sarah Jane Adventures when they went to old mansions. And obviously the episode Hyde of Series 7, that was a good episode in the big mansion. If it didn't have such a disappointing ending, it'd have been a lot better. But it definitely looks very good. You know, Ryan's in his typical black jacket and he's got an hoodie on. And then we get to see Graham, who... Then, one thing I'll notice is, I've kind of come up with a bit of a trend here. Ryan always has this kind of open mouth, shocked face look on him. I don't know if... I'm guessing that's just the actors. I'm shocked to what I'm seeing kind of look, or I'm scared kind of look, and he seems to be doing it quite a lot. So to me, he's giving me the vibes that he's going to be the companion that gets scared at everything. He's shocked at everything. I'm looking forward to seeing his reaction and seeing if he does this exact face when he sees that the TARDIS is bigger on the inside. One thing we don't see in the trailer is the inside of the TARDIS, which they seem to be keeping very secret. We know what the outside looks like from filming and from that behind the scenes San Diego Comic-Con trailer that they released, but what we don't know is what the inside looks like after it gets fixed. So let's look forward to that. Anyway, let's move on to the next shot. So this shot is of course of the Doctor and what looks to be a guest star that was in, I think it's the one that we see at the end of the trailer as well. So I'm guessing this is obviously from the same episode that the last shot of the trailer is from. We'll talk about that when it gets to that shot. We can see that Ryan and I think Graham, and we can definitely see Yasmin in the picture, kind of walking with her hands in his pockets. And I think there's a couple of other people behind him as well. As they're walking down, which looks like this never-ending corridor. Now, Graham looks like he's talking in the back of this scene to Ryan, so maybe he's like not really understanding why we're following this guy and going down it. So maybe we're going to get to see we'll see this shot of the Doctor talking to this guy, and then we'll also maybe get to see a shot of Graham's conversation, because I think they have filmed quite a few scenes like that. So they said it's going to be cinematic, so I'm sure that's how it's going to work out. And if you look at the Doctor's hand in this shot, she does look like she's carrying her Sonic, I think. But that might just be my eyes. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. If you look in her hand, is she carrying the Sonic? I love the way the light kind of reels off to the left of the picture, and we don't quite know if. And the fact that it doesn't continue to the end of the picture makes it seem like the corridor's a lot longer than what they've already walked. And that orange bit in the back, that could literally be kind of the entrance where they've just walked through. So it looks very undergroundy, so maybe the Silurians are coming back. Who knows? It'd be good if they did, but Chris Chibnall seems to be trying to push these new monsters for the show, as well as having a bit for the old stuff that he did confirm. The Daleks were not in this series, thank the Lord, because the Daleks are overused. And that's all because of the Terry Nation copyright deal. So it's clear that they found a way out of it, or they've done what they did, I think it was in the 11th Doctor's era or the 10th Doctor's era. They didn't put the Daleks in the series, but instead kept them for the Christmas special. But of course, it's a new Doctor. We do want to see how she's going to take on the Daleks. But of course, we'll have to wait for that until maybe next series or maybe the Christmas special, which they are currently filming. So, who knows? So this shot is, of course, the Doctor looking through what I thought originally was a letterbox, but now looking at it a bit more closely, it looks like she's in some kind of office, maybe looking in some kind of... Because if you were looking through someone's letterbox, you wouldn't see, like, a filing cabinet outside the house, would you? Or even like a black chair, which looks to be in the right behind her. So she could be looking in some kind of inside mailbox or some kind of pigeonhole for the staff that work there. Maybe we're actually on the outside ourselves, looking at her, look outside at maybe some kind of monster. She definitely looks like she's investigating something. If this is a door that she's looking out of, it looks like a black door. So is it 221B Baker Street? Who knows? It's probably not, but it does look like either we're outside looking in at her or she's looking inside a pigeonhole and we're just seeing it like as if we were in there ourselves and seeing that good kind of the way the letterbox kind of frames her eyes. And if anything, you could cut that shot and say, no sir, all 13. Like we had the brilliant frame of Peter Capaldi's eyes and his eyebrows in the Day of the Doctor episode. So that's fantastic. So let's move on to the next shot. Okay, so this shot, we get to see what looks like two people of the time period. Maybe it's Western style America, maybe it's somewhere in the countryside in England, I don't know. They look to be riding off ahead of horses, and if you look behind them, in the right, we can kind of see what looks like the Doctor, Ryan and Yasmin riding horses in period outfits. So maybe they are, maybe they've actually dressed for the occasion this time. So that'd be nice. Maybe we'll get a figure of the Doctor in a different time period outfit. Who knows? The fact that they're riding horses is really cool and very reminds me of a lot of Matt Smith riding the horse in a lot of his episodes, especially A Town Called Mercy and things like that. So maybe it's a little nod to that. I love the fact that the camera's low, positioned on the ground, looking up at them. It's just so cinematic. I love the fact that we've got the foreground out of focus, them in the centre in focused, and then the background out of focus again. It just looks so cinematic. I love the way the dust is going between the horses. I hope we get a close-up shot of the dust being kind of trampled by the horses. That would be so beautiful. I love the way the trees in the foreground are positioned. I just love the whole composition of that shot. I don't have a clue. This actually could be from the 1950s episode for all we know. It's definitely got that very summery vibe. It probably was filmed in Africa when they was filming there, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's from the same episode. They may have just shot that while they were on location there because they knew they'd need it for a later episode. So maybe that's what they did. So let's move on to the next shot. Okay, so here in this shot we have the beautiful blue sky. This could actually be from the same episode where we see New Worlds, because they're clearly looking from some kind of place. Maybe this was what they filmed. I think they filmed in Spain at one point, so maybe this is where they filmed it. Looks like there's some kind of sea in front of them, so it definitely looks like very beach style. Plus the sky's very blue. Maybe it's a bit too blue for Earth, so it could be a new world. There's also very orangey glowing orbs on the right hand side. There's a massive theme with glowing orange in this series. We've got the glowing orange in the back of the corridor in a previous shot. We've got the glowing orange in the screwdriver. But if you actually look at a lot of the posters, like the poster that I had at the start, there's an orange outline. Not forgetting the fact that the logo is also orange. So they're definitely pushing this very orangey vibe, aren't they, this season? Maybe that's the Doctor's favourite colour. Maybe we'll find out what the Doctor's favourite colour is. Maybe it'll be orange, or maybe she's going to really like oranges. Except for apples. Bad apples. Bad apples. But no, this shot, obviously we have the Doctor with her coat blowing beautifully. A lot like the 10th Doctor. We have Ryan stood next to her, probably doing his shocked face. Yasmin next to him, her coat's getting blown a little bit. And then, of course, we have Graham next to her with some shades on, covering his eyes from the sun. Looks awesome. And actually next to him, you can see like something that looks broken, maybe like a pole that's broken or something like that. Maybe some kind of structural abnormality or something like that. The glowing orange orbs look like what they're looking at, maybe. Maybe they've just shown up as something. Or maybe this is actually a world with 3 suns. Now, it wouldn't be the first time that we've actually gone to an Earth with 3 suns. I think it was the 11th Doctor that took Amy and Rory to a planet that had 3 suns. I can't remember what the episode was, but it took them to somewhere that had 3 suns, and they looked up in the sky and they were shocked that it had 3 suns. I think it was that, or it could have been the 12th Doctor with Clara. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it had 3 suns, and the sky was very much like this. So this could be a return to that planet, and maybe the Doctor's gone back to that planet so she can investigate something to do with maybe these suns, or maybe it's just them looking at the view and the Doctor showing off the universe. Not forgetting that if you actually look at Yasmin's bottom, you can see like a bit of a lens flare coming there, and there's also a ring on the left hand side as well. You might not quite be able to see it on the shot I'm showing you, but I know that it is there in the shot. And that's obviously coming directly from the three suns into the light. So that's very beautiful, and I actually look forward to seeing what this shot is all about. So obviously this shot, it's in the foresty-like area, sort of like where the Doctor must crash land in Sheffield Forest or something, I'm guessing. I'm presuming maybe Ryan and Yasmin are both from Sheffield. I'm presuming all the companions are from Sheffield, judging by the fact that most of the first block of filming that they did was in Sheffield, and it was all of the companions. So I'm presuming maybe Graham's going to be like some guy that she finds, and Ryan's gonna find her. Now, the fact that, again, Ryan has clearly got an orange glow on him here, and in the shot, in the trailer, we do see him sort of cover his eyes. This could be maybe he's gone to the forest for a stroll the next day, maybe take some photos or something, I don't know. We don't know what his personality is going to be like. And while he's there, he discovers the Doctor, and she's healing herself, so she regenerates and heals herself. This is what he's covering his eyes from. The regeneration kind of energy. I don't know, just that's what I'm kind of getting, judging by the fact it's in the forest, and she clearly lands in the forest from the earlier shot in the trailer. But that's just the vibe it's giving me here. It might not be right, it could be an alien, like the Tesselector, those little things that zap them, trying to get them. But to me, it seems like the Doctor is healing herself with regeneration energy in front of him, and he's shielding his eyes. So this shot, we see the Doctor looks like she's come through some doors, or she's about to go through some doors. She's turned around and she's pointing her sonic and clicks it, and of course that's where we see that the emitter of the sonic screwdriver is orange, as seen in the leaked pictures that were released, and the fact that they revealed what the screwdriver is going to look like. And we know now the official sonic screwdriver is going to be handcrafted. It looks very handmade, very alien-like, and most of the sonics that we have tend to be very kind of like nice metal and very made by the TARDIS, but this looks very handcrafted and handy to have around. Plus the little curved handle at the end looks like it'd be an easier way to hold it. It looks like a good way to hold, just so that she can kind of point it and kind of rest, like it to curve to the shape of a hand. As she points it, I don't know. I don't think it's going to extend in any way. I think it's just kind of a basic sonic, because I think Chimbo wanted to remove the idea of using the sonic screwdriver to get out of everything, which is what his biggest mistake was in his past episodes that he's written for Doctor Who, like Power of the Three. That episode ends with the Doctor using his sonic on a machine, stopping everything instantaneously, which he could have done before even confronting the villain. And the episode could have been over, but of course he had to add that bit in. So the fact that it's a simple sonic means that maybe it won't actually have the same software in it. It will be a basic sonic screwdriver, very similar to the early second Doctor sonic screwdrivers. And the fact that it looks handcraft, and the second Doctor came up with his own, he invented the sonic screwdriver himself. So maybe she's done the same here, using the same formula of what she's done, and maybe at the end of the series she'll get a new sonic that the TARDIS will pop out for her. But for now, I love the sonic. I love the fact that she looks like she's turning around, she looks very serious, using her sonic to close some doors, maybe to stop a monster. She's running away from a monster. She's alone, which makes me think that maybe she's been separated from her companions in this episode. Anyway, it looks all in all really beautiful. I love the fact that she's centre on frame and the sonics just bang, zzz, straight orange. It looks so beautiful, and just the orange glow looks amazing. So let's move on to the next shot. So this shot here actually looks like it's continued on from the last shot. So the Doctor uses her sonic, and then she turns around as the doors close behind her. We see the sparks, maybe the ship's exploding. She's trying to contain the explosion by closing doors. I don't think this is going to solve any problem, but it definitely looks like an escape kind of way. There's lots of sparks, a lot of practical effects. I love the fact that the effects are practical and not CGI. That's very good. Of course, then we have got this orangey glowing light on her. She looks like she's in some kind of tunnel, and the door in front of her is also about to close at the same time as the other one, so maybe she's just going to slip through, or maybe she's going to get trapped between two doors. and maybe two monsters are going to be, there's going to be a monster on one side of one door, monster on the other side of one door, and it's all just going to be left to the companions maybe to save the Doctor this time, rather than the Doctor saving the companions. Anyway, let's move on to the next shot. So this shot, you might notice on the right hand side, it appears to be Sean Dooley, who did actually star in Broadchurch with Jodie Whittaker, and he was also in Gunpowder, and he was in Misfits as well. He's probably quite well known for that. But yeah, this is a guest star that they never actually revealed was going to be in the show. It clearly looks like it's from the episode with the tunnel, because it looks like it was Sean Dooley walking down the corridor with her, which makes it seem like maybe it was the same episode with the doors closing and the Sonic being used. They look like they're on some kind of pebbly beach, sandy beach or something. Rocky planet of some kind, so it definitely seems like they're on some kind of other world maybe. They're all kitted up, so that's good. And of course you have got Ryan next to the Doctor and Yasmin next to her. I'm presuming Graham's actually behind the Doctor at this point, or maybe he's in front, maybe something's happened to Graham. I don't know. She's definitely, the Doctor looks very shocked at what she's seen. I do like the way she stood, but yeah, she looks shocked at what she's seen, so maybe something's happened to Graham. Maybe he's been taken by the monster of this episode. Who knows if it'll be a new episode, a new monster even, sorry, or if it'll be an old monster. But Sean Dooley looks fantastic in his role here, little guest star role, and the Doctor looks phenomenal in the centre of the shot. So anyway, let's move on to the final shot of the trailer. Right, this is going to be fun. So yeah, of course, that's the dialogue she says in this little clip here before closing the curtain. The fact that she closes the curtain right at the end of the trailer, it's like they've given them a little bit. They've given us a little bit of a teaser of what's to come, but the curtain is very well and shut, so we can't see beyond the curtain. Kind of like an operating theatre. It's going to be fun because it's been a while since she's made her first Sonic, maybe. But it does look like they're kind of trying to tease the fans, so that's all they're going to give us for now. And it's going to be fun to tease us a lot more. I think it's very brilliant that they've done this in this particular way. Of course, it is the closing shot of the trailer, and it kind of shows this humorous side to the new Doctor. She looks fantastic in this scene. And you know, I love the northern accent in it. It's so beautiful, looks very cinematic. I love the way it's framed and everything, and it's a great way to end the trailer overall. It just looks so brilliant and so fantastic, and obviously it's from the opening episode, as we know. And so maybe we will get a trailer for the first episode closer to the time, or maybe in September-ish, you know, as October starts to come. It's not long now, guys. August is going to fly, September will fly, and August, boom, Doctor Who will be back. It's going to be so fun, and I cannot wait. Alright guys, so before we actually fully end this thorough breakdown of the Doctor Who Series 11 trailer, I just want to look at this poster a little bit more. So as you can see on the right hand side, we look like we've got a close-up kind of image of what looks to be the new Sonic's emitter. It looks to be some kind of crystal. I don't know if it's going to be clear. I think it's going to be a clear crystal that will glow orange, kind of like the little plastic coloured tops that they stick on top of the toys, which the LEDs then light up through orange. So, you know, she's kind of used a bit of a crystal there, whatever she had in hand. Might not even be a crystal, it might just be some kind of glass that she's melted or something with that big machine she makes. There looks to be a bit of TARDIS energy going around. Behind her, obviously, we see her in centre frame with her beautiful, cool-looking hood up. Little reference to the 12th Doctor there with his love of hoodies. That's probably where that comes from. And of course she's holding her Sonic in kind of like in front of her, pointing down, kind of showing how she's going to hold it when she's using it maybe. So she's kind of she is using it because it's lit up obviously. And behind her you can actually see what looks like the hexagons of the interior of the TARDIS. Now it looks very much like the 12th Doctor's, but I don't think it is. I think the new TARDIS is going to be very orange on the inside. Because of the glowing orange that's coming from the background image. So it looks to me like it's got the interior of the TARDIS, an orange glow to it with the hexagons and circles together. Kind of a bit of a reference to the old classic round things, as they called them. or the but also a little reference to the new kind of hexagon style TARDIS interiors that we've been getting in recent years. And of course around that there's then like what looks like exploding worlds, maybe the TARDIS exploding, very bubbly stuff. And of course at the bottom of the thing we've got the new Doctor Who logo. So guys, that is it for this analysis, thorough breakdown of the Doctor Who Series 11 trailer. I don't think you're going to get as much as an in-depth kind of look at the trailer like anywhere else. I've gone into detail, I've talked about it, I've talked about every tiny little thing, the compositions of all the shots. So subscribe for more content like this. Leave a like down below if you've enjoyed the video. Comment down below if there's anything you want to correct me on, any opinions you want to give of what you think of the new series. Don't offend anyone in the comments, and look forward to the new series of Doctor Who that will be coming this October, hopefully October anyway, but it's this autumn, which is normally October. Maybe it'll be September, because September's normally the fall, and I think they're pretty much nearly ready to release it anyway. So maybe we're saying October, maybe the actual release date, and they'll surprise us, will be the start of September, but we don't have an official release date yet anyway. But all the trailers that seem to be coming out at the moment do tend to be for stuff premiering in the October, such as all the new DC TV shows on the CW. They're all coming back in October. Anyway guys, like I say, leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment your thoughts and theories on the new series of Doctor Who. Goodbye for now guys, goodbye.